All right, hello everybody. Check, check. Can somebody let me know if mic is working here? I got Solanki on with me. We are going to jump into some strat trading methodology, talk about the scanner, give away some free stuff, kind of just hang out a little bit and have some fun. So appreciate you guys being here. And let me see if this is working okay. Bear with me. I had to learn a whole bunch of new streaming stuff. Can you hear me, Solanki? Are you there? One second, guys. Okay, what's up, Brown Strat King? Vish, in here fine. I don't have Solanki on here. Let me see what happened to him. Wonder if it's on my end. Check, 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 check. We did a lot of work to test and make sure everything would be fine. So sit tight. Can hear and see. Okay, cool. Cool, thanks. Let me figure out what's going on with I have you muted. How do I unmute? I think he's going to reconnect here. Check, check. One second. Yeah, I see, bud. Hold on. Trying to figure it out here. Okay, test.
Test. Hello. Nope.
Okay, but all right, just
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but I don't. Your image, Oh, I know what happened. Hold on one second.
Yeah, cool.
Let me fix something here. All right, we're making progress here.
Yeah, no matter how much you prep ahead of time, there's always going to be something. All good.
I moved. I didn't want to do this, but I did. I moved images around.
Fair.
And let me see. All right, you're just gonna be just a blanked out camera. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on this.
Yeah, you've got some echo though.
There's some echo.
Yeah. We did a trial earlier. That's all right.
Echo. What could the echo be? I'm afraid to turn this off. Let me see. Check. Is that better?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay. But it's probably back now, right? Or no, is it okay?
No, it's back.
Yeah, we did so much testing to not have these problems. Let me... I'm not even sure what to change. I mean, I left everything exactly as it was. I didn't touch any settings. I wanted to try and switch some things around, but I didn't want to mess anything up.
I mean, why don't you, if you want, why don't you just proceed, knock me out, and then if needed, you can add me in again later. I've got the link to sign back on. Or I can hang up and try again.
Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Hold on. Let's see if this helps. How about now? Is that better?
That sounds better to me.
Anybody else? Echo or no echo?
No, that's clean.
Is it? Okay.
For me, I don't know. Anyone on YouTube can...
Options DJN. What's up?
Okay,
Can you
gone.
give me a...
Better. Good.
Go on back. Okay. All right. I accidentally unmuted something. So.
All right.
All right. Okay. I think we're good now. Sorry about that, guys. You know, technical difficulties. This is my first time playing around with this new app that we got for having a guest on a stream, and I think we're going to do more of this at, you know, on a kind of semi-consistent basis, and hopefully we'll get a little bit smoother as we move forward. So appreciate you all being here. Appreciate your patience. And yes, like I said, we'll be giving some things away in a bit. So sit tight. Just if you've already seen some of this stuff about the strat, you know, we're gonna kind of quickly go over the basics for anybody who's new and not familiar with the concepts, and then go through some setups in the scanner. Solanki did some scans. Now that we are coming into a new week and month, so we'll cover those. We'll cover some of the scanner features and go from there. When Solanki is doing his thing, I'll see if I can fix his little image here. So for anybody who has not heard of the Strat is a trading strategy developed by a guy named Rob Smith. Rest in peace. He's no longer with us. But he came up with a way of reading price action or looking at price as it relates to trading. So I'm just going to kind of skim through a document that I have here that is not complete. So if you pull up this URL, you can get to the strat combo sheet. Anything after it has not been kind of updated. So, but the gist of it is the strat's a price action strategy built around clear candle patterns, setups, time frame continuity, broadening formations, and actionable signals. It tries to reduce the market to what is objectively happening now rather than what a trader hopes might happen next. It can be used in any market, stocks, futures, crypto, and commodities, and across any time frame. Whether you're scalping, day trading, swing trading, or position trading, the same core principles still apply. That consistency is what makes the strat so powerful. One language, one framework, and one way to read price action across the board. So in the strat, there are... I'm going to skip over this kind of... I hope everybody knows what a candlestick is. Open, high, low, close. But in the strat, we define a couple different scenarios for candles. You can have an inside bar where price is stuck inside of the previous candle's range, which is, you know, consolidation, compression, balance, indecision. We have directional candles, a 2 up where the current candle breaks the previous candle high. We have a 2 down where current candle breaks the previous candle low without breaking the previous candle high. That's kind of an important caveat there. And then we have what we call a 3, which is an outside bar where the current candle breaks the prior high and low, which is a broadening formation on a smaller time frame. And broadening formations are a series of higher highs and lower lows. It looks like a Pac-Man or an alligator mouth. And I have an example down here that we'll get to in a second. So when it comes to directional candles, we just care whether the candle broke the previous high or low for it to be identified as a 2 up or a 2 down. 2 up, you would think, is always green, but that's not the case. A 2 up can be a 2 up green or a 2 up red. a 2 down, which is typically a red candle, but can be a green candle. So this is what an inside bar looks like. It's where you have the current candle. Price is inside of the previous candle's range. So that's a 1, that's an inside bar. We have a 2 up, which is a directional candle. So in a 2 up, you have the current candle breaks the previous candle high. Only. It just breaks the high, does not break the low. So if the low is also broken, that's an outside bar. Scenario 2 down breaks the previous candle low only. And then we have our favorite, the scenario 3, which is an outside bar, where we take out both sides of the previous candle range. There are some universal truths that we buy into as straters. Market moves through 1s, 2s, and 3s. This is the classification engine behind the framework. Every bar is either compressing, expanding one way, or expanding both ways. Because the vocabulary is finite, a trader can read the market in a structured way instead of drowning in dozens of overlapping pattern names or acronyms. ICT is very acronym heavy. Universal truth number 2, timeframe continuity defines control. This is the context engine. Timeframe continuity teaches that price must travel in the direction of the most 2s and the most 2s going 3 across multiple timeframes. Put differently, the side with the most aligned participation groups usually has the best directional advantage. So that's just essentially the trend, right? Whether there are more buyers or sellers, where price is headed. Universal truth number 3, price discovery is defined by broadening formations. Broadening formations, also referred to as a megaphone pattern, occur because of exhaustion. Eventually, they will expand. Note obvious pivots and a series of higher highs and lower lows to identify them. And I'm going to jump down just to show this is essentially what a broadening formation looks like. So you can see, if you look at, price, the way price starts to move, you have a high, a low, a higher high, a lower low, a higher high, a lower low. So when you look at it sideways, it looks like a mouth or, Pac-Man, alligator, that sort of thing. They don't have to be completely perfect. People seem to struggle with broadening formations for some reason. You just want to see, like this zigzagging higher high, lower low kind of pattern. And then we see universal truths. We use this strat combo sheet, thanks to Sarah and somebody who put this together for her. This is what we call the strat cheat sheet, and just shows you the different types of candle combinations that we tend to pay attention to when we are trading. And we call out these setups very easily or simply as a 2-1-2, a 3-1-2, a 1-3 for a 1-bar rev strat. There's a 1-2-2 rev strat. So we look for these kind of candle combos with time frame continuity and being aware of where we're at in a broadening formation. So that's kind of like the high level overview. Solanki, anything you want to add or comment on that maybe I kind of overlooked?
Yeah. I just want to say, I think most of the people that I see in chat, I recognize. And so I think everybody's got a basic understanding of the different configurations, the different actionable signals, and kind of how that goes together. So if anybody's new, then just identify yourself and send us a note somehow. I'm not sure if you've got a way that people can, like, if they've got if you're new, just even identify yourself. We'll figure, and I'll give you. Yeah, cool.
I just posted a link for our Discord. So if you have any questions, you want to kind of hang out with us, or you think that this strategy might be for you, or you're interested in learning some more, there's a great playlist Sarah put together you can knock it out, I think, in maybe like an hour or two, and wrap your head around. She does a really great job of explaining what the strat is. That's where I learned. She learned from Rob, who created it. So that was about as close as I was going to get before Rob passed away to learning from the master himself.
And I was actually lucky. I got to chat with him through Discord a few times, and we also, we've developed lots and lots of images and sort of teaching materials on how to show the difference between the strat and regular technical analysis. But the strat is basically a lens on how, or a view on how we can look at price to see, where do we get an edge, right? That's the whole idea, is where are we going to get an edge? And I like the idea of the broadening formation because, the double entendre there, the double meaning is that you can trade off of those failed swings. So, you're trying to break through a high or break through a low and it fails and it goes back the other way and it broadens the price range. We've got, techniques to teach people how that works and use price to your advantage as you see price evolve. And so, Tom spent, I don't know, since January, what, 31st, he was telling me earlier today, he's had, I don't know, 120 some odd days straight
121.
of 121 days of straight developing this fantastic scanner. And it's not just, actually it's all, it's way more than the scanner. This is the reason why I'm giving my time and partnering with Tom, because of the work he's done. And what I like about what he's done here, this the heart of what he's showing you here is his mission control. It allows you to get notifications on your phone, so you don't have to sit there and redraw alerts. You don't have to sit there and monitor charts. You can just say, okay, I want to take certain signals. You can configure your own alerts. It'll notify you, and you can actually have a life, right? Do other things. You don't have to sit there and at the screen while you wait, because there's only three things you can do as a trader. You can buy, sell, and wait. Now you're either waiting for more money to show up into your P&L because you're waiting for your trade to work, or you're waiting for your price level to come to you. They say wait for the trade to come to you, right? So waiting for the trade to come to you or waiting for the trade to complete, all of those notifications are possible in the way that Tom's built the architecture of this awesome utility. So, Tom, rip through that.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing that attracted me to the strat, when I bumped into Sarah in another trading community, they were primarily EMA and RSI traders. She had been a part of the community for a while. I joined. She was talking about the strat. She was pointing out broadening formations constantly, outside bars, and I started to look into it just because I'm the type of person who does a ton, a lot of research. Anytime I find something interesting, I go down the rabbit hole, and I realized that it just clicked with me, and I, having a developer background, realized that I could build a scanner or an alert bot to let me know when setups were triggering. And that was like 3 years ago. And so most of the last 3 years has been working on building a scanner like this. And then I decided to do a complete rewrite at the end of January, beginning of February. And this is kind of what I've come up with. So it's still pretty early in the process. There's a lot more that I want to do, but I feel like we have a pretty good product here. People are enjoying it. It saves me a lot of time. I don't have to sit and stare at charts. One of the things I struggle with is kind of impatient, so I can go do other things and set alerts and have them push to my phone when setups trigger. So I don't have to be jumping into trades early. I also started adding some additional metrics here, but what I'm going to do is just go through each of the different kind of sections of the site, ask if you guys have any questions. The website and scanner is free for the next week, so anybody who doesn't have an account is free to use it. You can test it, ask questions, request features. If there are tickers you would like added, Solanke just sent me a list of some stuff from the Russell that I'm going to put in here. I think there's about 40 or 50 tickers, he said. So I want people to experience what it's like to not have to sit at charts all day. Not everybody is a full-time trader. Some people have jobs. So you can set this up so you watch a handful of tickers and you just get alerts on your phone when those setups trigger, and you can enter a trade without having to stare at charts, because I know that's not everyone has that luxury.
And actually, I'm going to jump in here for a quick sec.
Sure.
I know that Tom's looking at doing this as well, as we're looking at providing tools for investors, right? So you can even like potentially throw in your portfolio, and if you're not an active day trader but you're a passive investor, this is actually will work just as well for you as too. And from the people I'm seeing here, I know that most of the group is are active traders, but as time goes on, definitely going to reach out to see if we can catch more passive investors. Keep going.
Just answering a question here from somebody. I
Yeah,
was
go.
typing, but
Yeah,
I
go
don't know
for it.
why I was typing when I can just answer it out loud. Somebody asked, what's a refresh rate of the website? So it's about as near real time as you possibly can get. When I'm looking at charts and I have these voice alerts turned on, when setups trigger, I get it announces that the setup triggered. So I think I was aiming for like sub 1 second latency. So it's quick. You'll see it essentially as soon as something triggers, you'll get an alert. And then another feature that I'm going to be adding in the future here is alerting within a certain threshold. So the thing with setups triggering, it's you can get very close to a setup triggering and it doesn't trigger. And we always say no trigger, no trade. If the setup doesn't trigger, you probably shouldn't get in. Like sometimes I'll catch myself front running a trade, like it's so close, it's gonna trigger. That doesn't always happen. So, but like some kind of proximity alert to give you a heads up in advance. Oftentimes setups will trigger and then kind of dilly dally around and then or pop back up and then re-trigger. So it's not like if you get the alert, you have to enter right away, or just because it triggered means you missed something. There's usually plenty of opportunities to get in, especially if it's a higher time frame setup. If you have an alert for like a 4-hour, a 12-hour, or a daily setup, you have all day for that setup to play out, or you have 4 hours. So, it triggers. If you look at it within the first couple minutes, you'll at least have an idea of what the market's doing. And if that's a setup you want to get in, you can pull up charts, make a decision at that time. Let's see. Any other question? In your opinion, is it reasonable to trade index futures exclusively using the strat and using simultaneous breaks on ETFs with full time frame continuity? Exclusively? Yeah. Yeah, like 90 really like 98% of my trading is strat based. I do have like VWAP on a smaller time frame chart, and I have some of these some metrics alerts like relative volume has increased or time frame continuity flips, some additional things that give me a heads up. But yeah, I've been focused on the strat for at least the last 3 years, maybe 4 years. I've traded it in crypto, I've traded futures, stocks, options, some oil, so commodities. It's all the same thing. It's price. The market is kind of run by fear and greed, and it doesn't matter. If you look at the run up in silver and then you look at the run up in GameStop, they're completely different assets, but they essentially move the same. You had extreme euphoria, crazy run ups, and then just massive dumps. And you see that play out over and over. You've seen it with Bitcoin. What else? Carvana. There are a lot of examples of that. So yeah, you can definitely. And yeah, and like even I tell people all the time, like if you don't trade the strat, but if you watch like Sarah's videos and you at least understand something like time frame continuity, which is the trend, right? Are there more buyers or sellers across the majority of time frames? That will keep you on the right side of trades. Like it's rare for me to short when we are above the daily and weekly open. And conversely, if we are below the daily weekly open, I'm usually not looking long. There has to be a good reason. Like, I don't want to fight what's happening on the daily and weekly charts. So you can, being aware of broadening formations or megaphone patterns will help keep you out of trouble. You think price is going to break through, and then all of a sudden it's just the bottom of broadening formation and reverses and smacks you in the face. So
Do you want to walk through some of the mission control and talk about the panels and how you
yeah,
you
let's do
layout?
that. Let me zoom in here a little bit and see if I can give you guys a better view here. So this whole let me start kind of like up over here. Essentially, you can customize these panels any way that you want. If you click on actions, you can customize layout, and you are able to actually let me do this on a let me switch to like my test layout. I go to customize layout, and you can move these panels wherever you want. You can resize them. Um,
And I'll show you guys my layout of how I've got it set up, and I've got it, on a screen while I'm day trading live. You can save your layouts. So when he's done this and I get my chance to show my screener, I'll walk you through how I use it.
cool. So there's also there's an add panels button. There are a lot of different you know um,
Your zoom
panels.
is off to the
It's
left.
off a little wonky. Okay.
You might need to recenter. There you go. That's cool.
So there are a number of different panels you can add. We have economic events. There's an earnings calendar. There's financial news. So let's just click and add this panel, and you can see if I move my screen over here. We got this financial juice list of news. You can, if you don't want these panels, you can just click the hide button, and it will clear them. So you can really design this this mission control interface what to your style, whatever suits you, whatever information you care about as a trader. Like this ticker matrix that shows you what's happening across multiple time frames. You can add tickers. You can select from different watch lists and um, get the information that you need, because not everybody trades the same. I used to focus on, way too many tickers. I would be looking at like 20 or 30 tickers. Now it's as a futures trader, primarily I'm just looking at NQ, ES, sometimes GC. But not as often as I probably should. But anyway, there are a lot of options that you can configure. Each panel, or most panels I should say, have a number of different settings and filters to customize the information that's displayed in each of those panels. So that's that's what layouts are. Layouts are the structural side of mission control. Then there are something called playbooks, which let me kind of go over here up to the top. And a playbook allows you to apply a number of filters and settings to the layout. So, for example, you create, like I have my futures layout here, and I could just click a playbook and switch from it would be the same layout, but it would show different ticker information on some of these panels. So instead of being primarily focused on the indices, I could have a playbook for metals where I'm just watching GC, SI, EL, what are the other, copper, HG. So I can quickly jump between a couple different groups of settings. So like in the morning, maybe I have a New York playbook for the open, and then in the afternoon I have a playbook where I pay attention to different tickers or different setups. And then maybe I have a playbook for power hour. So at the end of the day, I switch to my power hour playbook. and I'm watching, maybe a different group of tickers or different metrics or alerts. So you can experiment with that. That's pretty customizable. There are also hotkeys you can set to quickly toggle between layouts here. Like I can just press 2 to go to stocks and futures. I could press 3 to go to crypto. So you can bounce around between these different layouts. You can have as many layouts as you need. You can snooze alerts. There's a button up at the top here. If we let me zoom in, got a snooze option. Oh, this is a little tricky for me to do because I forget which screen I'm zooming on. So you can snooze just setups, metrics, simultaneous breaks. You can snooze all. See presets here. You can select presets if you want to pause alerts for a specific amount of time or indefinitely, or you can customize the number of minutes. I recently added audio alerts or a global mute, so you can turn on or off. You'll see some of these panels have audio on. It'll actually read the setups as they trigger. So it'll say like, NQ 15-minute 1-2 up, for example. So I usually keep mission control up and I'm watching charts on one screen. I have mission control on another. And even if I'm not paying attention to mission control, in the background, I can hear alerts as they're firing off. So, I could be focused on my trade and say if I'm long on NQ and all of a sudden I get alerts for ES, RTY, and YM are breaking bear or have bearish setups and I'm in a long, I may want to, kind of trim my position or at least be aware that the other indices are moving against me. I find it super helpful. For me, that's one of the biggest advantages of the scanner site is just having these audible alerts in the background and push notifications. So there's also a flip announcer. So if you want to turn this on, it will tell you when a flip is occurring. So
Globex cross POC down.
Did that just come through?
Yep.
That audio alert. Okay. Let me mute that. So yeah, that's what it sounds like when an alert fires. Let me just turn that off so it doesn't get annoying.
Well, not if I'm making money, right? Like if I'm just sitting there watching a YouTube video and I get my machine talks to me and says, inside break Tesla, I'm turning off YouTube and I'm going to be, or simultaneous break. There's alerts for that sort of thing as well. So, and the app talks to you.
Yeah. So if you're sitting here, like if I'm sitting at my desk, I turn off push notifications because I don't need them. I'm watching, I'm at the charts, and I can hear the voice alerts. And then when I'm done, I'll just mute the voice alerts, have push notifications sent to my phone, and I don't have to be a slave to the charts. So yeah, so you can get flip announcements when the flip is occurring. If you just care about like the 60-minute flip, you could turn that on. There's an option for 2-minute warning. You can pick the markets. And I find that to be really great because sometimes I get a little distracted and I want to be looking at charts when a 60-minute flip is happening or a 30-minute flip. Excuse me. So I turn it on because if I'm not actively trading, but I'm sitting at my desk here waiting for a setup, it's like, okay, flip 60-minute flip in 2 minutes. Now I know to look back at the charts and see what happens before the flip, because for me, and a lot of other traders that I talk to, sometimes you get the best moves right after the flip. You get a nice, you close near the high. The candle was an inside bar. You close near the high. All of a sudden, you get a flip. Boom! It breaks the high and just rips up to target. So, what else we got here? We got some ticker. You can customize the tickers. Playbooks we covered. You could switch this. I think that's kind of it for mission control. Really, the best thing you can do is play around. Like go create a new layout and just play around with it. See what panels work for you, what information you're looking for. If you think something's missing, you can reach me on X or in Discord, or there are a million ways to get a hold of me. Happy to add new things. Solanke is always sending and sharing ideas that he has that I try and incorporate. So I'm trying to get, the reason I'm doing this is to get as much feedback as I can, let people know, what the scanner is capable of, how I use it. Solanke will talk about how he uses it, and then just have you guys dive in and, see if you find it useful.
You okay if I share my mission control?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I did the,
Let me,
I don't know, you're gonna have to flip me on and
I'm going to go to guest
I can
screen.
go show
Boom.
how I use it. Okay. So the way I've got mine set up, right, is my playbook here. Let me just confirm this is, yeah, okay. So I've got different playbooks, and Tom's got these built in default, like there's the overview, which is what he had a second ago, right? And this is a really good comprehensive. It's got lots of stuff. It's got the financial juice. It's got the market breadth for the day, week. Okay, so we'll start from the top left here. Candle snapshot. It'll show you day, week, month, quarter, year, and the distribution of each of the candles. So if on any given day, and so sorry, let me give a quick 10-second or 15-second recap of me and how I ended up in this. I placed my first trade in 1987. I've been doing this for a while. And, you know, made money, lost money. I survived .com. I survived all that other, stuff, and I'm still loving it. And this is all I do. This trading is my livelihood. Um, and so when I was struggling to figure out how do you know what's a good day to trade and what's a day to just do something else, this mission control really is the answer to that problem, right? Because a lot of times it's like, why am I trading? Most people who trade the strat know that if the vast majority of the day is an inside day, you don't want to be in front of your desk. So the I look at this candle snapshot to tell me of all the stocks, how many in the day are inside day, two up, two down, and three, right? Um, Market breadth, that'll show you kind of the same idea. And you can see kind of how it goes where when I look at this visually, I can say, okay, well, the market is generally on the year, most of the market is two up green. Some is two down, some is inside year. And then so as you go into the lower time frames, you can see how the strength and weakness kind of ebbs and flows of the general market, right? And this will just show you that in one picture. And
Yeah,
so what
you kind of see the shift. It's not, if you have smaller time frames, you can see the rotation start to happen. If you get smaller time frames start to go red, and then that, it'll start on the 15, then it goes to the 30, then it goes to the 60, and you can see
yeah.
the shift over time.
Okay, so since you're doing that, I'll show you exactly what that looks like, right? So I'll flip over to this is what I have on my daily. Let me just make sure that it's going to show up on there we go. Cool. So I have the setups feed. This will give me all of my tickers, and you can choose which watch list you want. So my watch list, and I've got different watch lists, and we'll go through watch list management later. But the watch list that I have is for the tickers that I trade, and I generally trade 0 DTE options. And all of these stocks will have that. So you can arrange it according to time frame, and it'll show you all the 15 signals, the 30 signals, the 60s. You can do it by ticker. So if you just want to see, what are the conditions for Amazon on the 15, and all the signals kind of sort according and categorize according to the ticker. I just turn that off because I want to see them as they come, right? And it'll just put the latest one up in the top. If I turn on real-time alerts, this is the cool part, is it'll just talk to me, right? When these signals come up, it'll talk to me and say, okay, you've got a signal here on Amazon or Gold or Meta. It'll also let you know, so I'll scroll down further here. It'll also let you know on simultaneous breaks. you can configure that for 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, or all 4 indices um, on the futures. And right, so it'll just send me a text to my phone through Telegram. There's a push notification on Telegram shows up, and I say, okay, great. Yeah, I've got a simultaneous break across 3 of the futures. We might get a move now, right? And Tom, because he's really geared on making this good for stratters, but traders in general. You don't need to be a stratter to use this particular feature, which is biggest movers. And this is a feature that I'd requested, and he cranked it out. I use this religiously. There's tickers in here that I don't trade generally. Like I've never traded, I mean, FSLR. I've never traded them. I've never traded, uh, Devon Energy. I do trade CoreWeave and MU. Iron, definitely love trading iron, but this will tell me what I've got moving, what's moving the most, and you can sort here, right? So I can tell you what's the strongest this hour. Um, when the market's open, you can see that. But going back to what Tom was saying earlier, this matrix here is the cat's meow. This is a very, like, this ticker matrix is on the left panel here, is absolutely one of the coolest dashboards I've ever worked with in looking at markets. And so again, you can configure this to say, like, what time frames are you looking at? You can pin presets, right? So you can pin your SPY Qs, IWM, your futures as well. I don't trade crypto, and so those get pinned up at the top. Now, what Tom was talking about earlier is if you want to visualize a different way of looking at a TTO or a triangle layout, or I mean, Stratters know what that means. I look at this and say, okay, these are all, as I was showing you earlier, the market's showing you that it's a 2 up on the year. And when I start seeing, like, the weekly and the daily start turning red, that's telling me we're getting a bit of a pullback. Then as soon as these start to turn green again, so here, I'm looking for an example here of one. Here's one, Amazon, right? So it's 2 up on the year, 2 up on the quarter, week, whatnot. When these start flipping green again, so the lower time frame starts showing strength, then that gives me an indication that the pullback is over and the lower time frames are starting to pick up again to resume the bullish trend, right? So between the ticker matrix and biggest movers, like biggest movers, one of the things that I love with this is, like, right off the bat, I can tell you, yeah, this is the hot stock for the day or the week. Let's keep an eye on that. And if you want further confluence or confirmation, there's a sector performance, right? So you can say, okay, well, what's going well on the day, the week, the month, and you can sort by that, and it'll tell you which of the different sectors are catching some. And so then my candle snapshot is down here. So this is what I have up all day long if I'm at my desk. And I know that, okay, we've got the vast majority of the stocks are split between 2 up and 2 down on the day. Now this is obviously from uh I think it's probably just holding Friday's data,
Yeah, it's Friday.
right? It wouldn't have any obviously for today, right? So this is the kind of, how I have it set up. I'll just turn, wait, where is it? Audio on. I'll turn on audio, and it'll just talk to me, right? It'll tell me what's going on. And then on the other side, I've got my charting platform and my execution on my other screens. And I'll just use this to tell me where is the strength and weakness in the market. Because you want to go where the oil is flowing, right? Like you want to go where the money is moving. You don't want to sit around on stuff that's not tradable. So I've used that and just as a monitoring tool. And then on week, you want to go through setups now, like how to scan for setups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Right. So
so there's another section of the scanner. I think we've covered most of mission control. The other very valuable part of the site is the setups
I,
table
I'm gonna
that you
stop
can scan
scaring you.
for.
Or do you want me to do the setups, or you want to?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just
All right.
doing like a little brief intro kind of thing. So
Sure.
do your thing.
Sure.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So in setups, if I want to see, okay, well, what's an inside week? I can choose, the weekly. I can choose inside week setups. So I'll go 2-1, 3-1, double inside week. That's always a fan favorite, right? And then it's got 3 of those setups selected, and it'll scroll through this and it'll tell you. And so then what I do is I say, okay, well, these are all inside weeks. I can I'll flip through this and sort by what's biggest movers on the quarter, and then that'll narrow it down on, and tell you, okay, these are the stocks that have an inside week, good moves so far this year. So it's a really easy way to hone in. You don't have to spend hours, charting and whatnot, and so you can filter that way. Now, if you're into the multi-time frame analysis, which I think everyone should be, you can add functionality, right? So you can say, okay, well, I want anything that's 2 up on the on the on the month. So I want an inside week, but I want it 2 up on the month. You can apply the multi-time frame analysis and it'll go through it and it'll narrow it down and say, okay, these are all the, and so you can add, and if you wanted to add more steps, you can do that. And you can keep adding cascaded layers. Say I want something on the quarter if I want a failed 2. So a failed 2 is going to be potential 3, right? So if I want a failed 2 down, and if you add too many of these, it's going to eliminate all the possibilities, right? Like, or all the results, because if, so something like that. So if I click this, it'll say no setups found because I've just ruled out everything, right? So you hit reset, it resets everything. So it really makes it easy to figure out, okay, what are the potential setups that we've got for the coming week or the coming month, right? If I wanted to do monthly scan, which I'd be doing today, make sure that you've got your stocks there. If you want, you can select a watch list. I've got another watch list called Hot 100, which are Hot 100 is the 100 most liquid tickers on the Nasdaq and S&P. And you click on that, and I say, okay, if I want to find out what is currently an inside month, you just click 1, hit enter, and these are all the inside months for for the setups, right? So there's loads of different ways. It's fully customizable. All of these, like if volume is important to me and I want to see that ahead of time, I can drag that across right to the edge of my um, right. So just drag it over here. Sorry, I'm right there. We go. I can throw it in there, and then I can sort by volume and say, okay, these are all the stocks with highest vol or lowest. Let me do the other way. Right? Highest volume inside month. Um, you can also scan PMGs, right? Let me hit reset here. I'll clear all that out. You can scan things for PMGs on the month. So what has the most number of PMGs? You can either click up here. I think Tom might be getting rid of that, but if I click here and say, okay, I want at least daily PMG and wait, hit reset and PMG. I want at least 5. You can sort by this and say, okay, or these are, and so it'll tell you, if you look at an actual chart, it'll tell you that this has 5 untested highs or untested lows. I'm assuming most people know what a PMG setup is, and I can go through that in a minute too if you want. But there's so many, if you want to find out what's in force, you can say true, get rid of this,
Nothing
right?
to be
Like
enforced on the daily.
yeah, on
You'd
the
have to
daily,
go to
right?
the
That's right.
quarterly or something.
Sure, we can go
And
quarterly.
I just want to make a quick comment because I imagine for somebody who's new or just starting out with the strat, or even someone who's experienced, there is a lot like that you can do. But like Rob would say, and other successful strategers, it's okay to be a one-trick pony. Like when I first started, I really focused on trading inside bar breaks. So you don't have to use every single feature or search for every single setup. You don't have to be chasing the entire market. Find a setup or two that you like initially, and then you can kind of expand your toolkit as you go and grow as a trader. It's not going to be helpful if you are trying to, again, like I said, chase every single setup, every ticker out there. It's just not possible to do. So find what you like. You can save these setups as views. You'll see on Solanke's screen, he's got the HTF and inside bars. So you can create a filter that you like and then save it. So you only have to click one button and you can get all of the inside bars, across whatever time frames you care about.
Yeah, and the the cool part is if you're a scanner type person, you know, that's that's available to you. So moving on, and if anyone's got questions on how to scan or screen, oh, the other thing I should mention too, right, is there's advanced filters you can add if you're into like standard technical. So I want minimum 10 billion market cap. I don't put a max on there. You can change um, you can change things that are like near all-time highs, near all-time lows. Um, VWAP stuff. I love VWAP, so I use this a lot too. If I'm scanning near 52-week highs, um, new 52-week highs, you can click these sorts of things if you're a standard TA, technical analysis type trader.
Yeah, I originally, as a strat trader myself, I built this as a tool for me to use, but I'm going to be adding, and there's some metrics that you can get alerts on that are not strat related. There's an initial balance alert, there's VWAP, there's some RSI alerts. So what we're trying to do is figure out the best way that we can chain kind of multiple alerts together. So like at VWAP extremes, maybe you want to look for a strat reversal. So those are some of the things that I'm going to be working on over the next couple weeks to kind of broaden the audience of people who may be interested in, having an alert system for their style of trading.
Yeah. So what we're encouraging people to do is sign up for the free trial, use it for the length that you've got it, offer feedback, and Tom's really good at incorporating feedback into the app. I mean, he does it as way faster than I ever imagined. And so I'm like, oh, I definitely want to hook into this, right? So we're encouraging people to go in, kick the tires, figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then offer feedback. There is a feedback section here in the site. You can go in and say, okay, well, here's create a new post, and you can describe what you're looking for, and Tom will see if he can put it together.
Yeah, I mean,
So
literally, like you guys can reach out to me almost anytime. Solanke knows him. Anybody who knows me or has been trading with me, over the last couple years knows that I don't sleep very much, or I sleep when I can, and I'm mostly focused on trading or building this. So, if you want to have a discussion, we can do it through Discord, or just reach out to me. I've given people my number to call me or text me when they have issues. Like I'm really open to ideas and trying to build one of the best platforms that I can for getting alerts on setups and trade ideas without having to be stuck, staring at a screen all day.
Yeah. Sector stats. This is cool, right? It'll show you each of the sectors and the same 2 up, 2 down inside bar distribution across the various sectors, so you can see for sure, right? XLE is the hot one on the year. The quarter's still pretty good inside, some inside quarters. And so if you're interested in figuring out, okay, well, what's the hot sector or whatnot, you can, this is a great visualization on how that works. Predefined groups. This will, it's another distribution of you can just look at this and say, okay, I can see where I want to be putting my money in and where I don't want to be putting my money in, right? Cybersecurity, like this this sector's been doing really well, right? So it's a great way if you're a stock trader to go through this, and if you're an investor, this will help you manage, what you're looking at in terms of your longer term portfolios as well.
Click on view real quick. Like you can click on view on one of the sectors, and it'll give you a kind of like a breakdown of
Right.
what's happening and individual tickers.
Yeah. So let's go to XLE. Right. So this is XLE is showing you the tickers that are in here, and
it was the hot was that was like lit up green not that long ago. Everything was green.
Yeah. So there's lots of different views on examining the market, looking at how things are looking. What else did you want to cover off? Yeah, you can do your own watch lists, right? So we can you can create watch lists. I've got a bunch. My main one has a ton of them, and it opens up, like, I won't trade anything that's outside of this watch list, and it pops up charts on the different time frames for each ticker as I click on them. It's got some news on the side if you're looking at that. I don't really use this panel much at all, because I'm very much a signal to noise ratio kind of trader. I don't want too much noise. I want things to be simple. So I just come to watch list to create my watch lists, and then I use those watch lists in Screener, right? So if I go back to setups and I can click on here, then I can screen out of my main watch list. That's all I'm using watch lists for.
I want to do a quick test
Yeah,
here.
go.
If let me
Yeah,
let
I'll
me
stop
switch.
sharing and you
I want to
take
see
over.
if this. I want to see if this works, because if we're um can you guys I'm gonna test a giveaway here. So if you guys could just in chat type type the strat, all one word, THESTRAT. Whoever wants to play this game.
What are we giving away?
How about $100? Maybe that'll motivate some people. You can use it for a prop account. You can use it for whatever you want. Pay some bills, take your girlfriend out or husband. I haven't used this app before, so I'm going to see if this actually works. If not, I'll have to come up with another way to do it here. Give it a couple more seconds. All right, last chance. Click. Let me see. Get YouTube. What? It says that comments are disabled. Somebody pick Solanke, pick a number between 1 and 20.
1 in 20, go with 11.
11. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. MONIR Childhurry 937. Do you follow me on X? Do you have an X account? Send me a DM on X. I got to come up with a better way of doing this in the future. I forgot to test this part. I'm sorry, guys. You follow me on Twitter? All right, just DM me. Yep, you got it. Got our first winner. Rigged. Options, DGen. He's my boy. Wouldn't be the same trading without his antagonism.
So there was a question that I think it was Savajad. I'm not sure if Savajad is still on. If you are, let me know. I can't see who's actually still here. I guess the question he had though was, where is it? What do we look for when entering a broadening formation on an intraday futures chart? What do you look for when you're entering a broadening formation on an intraday chart? I mean, for me, it would just be you want a broadening formation is just coming back through a previous range, right? So I created this little sketch pad here. I'm going to see if I can share this tab instead.
Yep.
Is it there? Okay, cool.
Yep.
So if you've got a previous range of price, right, and your intraday chart, if what I look for is actually, maybe I'll do this in a multi-time frame here. Let me get rid of that. So I'll turn on multi-time frame. I'll go with 5 candles, right? So on a futures intraday, you can see the day is now, each one of these is a lower time frame accumulating into a larger or aggregating into a larger time frame. So let's call it the daily. If I'm looking for a short on this, I'd want to take out, a significant level earlier and then fail back through, right? So once we get this, now I'm thinking it's a possible short. What does that do on this lower time frame? That would be the signal to get short. You could now monitor it. If it reclaims and starts to go back up, you would exit the short, right? So it's that's what I would look for is, do you get a flip? Do some undos here. Do you get a flip that goes at a higher time frame, level of significance, and then confirms, right? So does this confirm down and keep pushing lower? That's what I'd be looking for. If the flips here say no good and start to go back up, then you exit. So for me, what's really worked is to take the initial lower time frame intraday entry and then watch the flips. If the flips confirm, stay. If the flips negate, exit and potentially switch bias and go back the other way.
Yeah, I like to look. When we're potentially looking for a reversal, for me, I like inside bars and failed twos at important kind of key levels, like Solanke said. So, like an important daily pivot, weekly pivot, and then I see some sideways or an inside bar forms, and we break the low or the high. We break the low if we're at the top of a broadening formation, or we break the high if we're at the bottom. That gets my attention.
Right, so there's an inside bar break. This is an interesting, here's an image that I think I might share. Copy, image, paste. Right, I've shared this before on various platforms, right? If you can see, this hammer is made out of these 4 candles, and this hammer is made out of these 4 candles. You can see why some traders or most traders would prefer this, right? This is showing you the strength. So if you can see these patterns, then you can see how a broadening formation works. So this might be another way to explain that, right? Is if you're coming back through a previous range, if you take out the lows and then start coming back through, and if you don't have any reversals against it, by definition, it has to go to the other side, right? It must. So Alex was really helpful in showing me that sort of thing. Sarah, I think, is probably one of the best teachers of the strat. She's got some good content. I haven't really made, you know, instructional videos, but I prefer to just live stream and jam, while the market's moving, because I don't really have the patience to sit there and make videos and care about followers and stuff like that. So, but I certainly do love shooting the shit, talking charts. Um, so if anybody's got other sort of questions like how do you do this or how do you do that, I'm always looking to share an idea
Yeah,
and
we've got
still learning.
there's an education channel, we got psychology channel, we got the Discord's pretty active when we're trading. If you are struggling or if you're new, the best advice I can give you is to do what I did and be like the squeaky wheel, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You can't suffer in silence. You got to post charts. You got to explain, what you were thinking, where you got in, mark up a chart, share it, say, hey, what could I have done better in this trade? Nobody can read your mind and help you if you're not opened up about what you're doing. And like nobody care. I mean, we all have made, some of us have made lots of money and lost lots of money. It's, like there's no judgment for the most part, unless you're options degen. He likes to judge me, but we're everyone is trying to help each other. We all want to be successful, and we'd like to see other people succeed. So get involved. Don't be shy. Even if you just want to pop in and kind of lurk, that's fine too. But check out Sarah's playlist on YouTube. It's if you search for Stratucation 2023, should come up. And I think I figured out this. We're going to try another giveaway here. I'm going to give away some merch. I got some T-shirts that I'm working on. You'll have your choice of what you want. I'm not quite done. I think I have 4 or 5 designs done currently, but I ordered one. They're nice. So let's go with. Hold up. Let me see. Giveaway. Type a keyword. Let me see here. Viewers, regulars, moderators who can participate.
We just got a 15-minute sim break on futures to the upside. Yay.
Remove spanners, unique winners, chat announcement. I don't know what this does. Oh, why does it say one eligible user? Type 2026. 2026. 2026. Just 2026.
Yeah, the strat is not the be all and end all. It's absolutely I think the best way of describing what's happening in the market. It doesn't, I mean, the strat doesn't cause signals to or moves to happen. The auction is actually what causes moves to happen. But the strat explains what's going on, right? So I've been trying to teach my son how the market moves and what is going on, right? So I shared with him a depth of market chart, and I don't know if I've got that kicking around here as a, no, I don't. But anyway, I was telling
Brian
him, I
Deers.
said, like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
yeah, I was just trying to show him how candlesticks are formed. He's like, what does this represent? I said, well, you've got your bids and your asks, your buyers and your sellers. They have their conviction. If it's a balanced day, you're going to get the sort of choppy price. But soon as there's a bullish situation, right? Now we're, you know, your buyers are more aggressive than your sellers, um, and the auction's going to show that, right? So and that translates into candlesticks. And you know, if this is a low liquidity environment, then and if you're into volume profile, I love using volume profile. You can use those kinds of tools as well, right? So you know, we can increase, say, hey, okay, the cash market's open now, so more buyers, more sellers join, and you know, Trump says something, and the market goes bullish, and then turns out that was false, and then you know, the auction is the dynamics of the tug of war between the buyers and sellers. This tug of war is probably my favorite metaphor to describe what happens in the market, right? Is exactly just that. So you know, there's lots of different ways
Yeah, look, I
interpret
mean,
price.
the strat is one way of many to trade. I think that if you figure out a way of making money and you kind of mix and match or whatever it takes for you to be consistently profitable, that's what you should do. You know, if it's strat combined with some other things, if it's just strat, if it's just a little bit of strat, or if it's not strat at all, it doesn't really matter to me. Um, you know, what matters is if you are able to kind of stick to that strategy, follow rules, and manage risk, be disciplined, those sorts of things. For me, strategy is important when you're first starting trading. You need some strategy to follow. You need a rule book, a playbook to kind of stick to. But once you get into it for a while, it becomes less about the strategy and more about being a disciplined trader and being able to stick to your rules and know when not to trade and you know all of that stuff when you know when to you know how to not be greedy, not to exit positions too early, to just kind of go numb inside when you're in a trade, not get too attached to the P&L. Those are the things for me. It's psychology is like 80% of trading for me at this point. I realize when you first start, you know, it's probably 80% strategy, 20% psychology, or, you know, maybe it's 50-50, something like that. I don't know. But as you start to learn a strategy, it's because there are many different strategies and there are successful traders trading all of them. So it's not like one strategy is better than another. It's whatever type of trader you are that you connect with. Some people are, you know, tend to be more scalpers. Some people like to just swing trade or because of their life circumstances. They have a job. They can't be looking at charts constantly, but, you know, they can check in once a day on their positions. They want to be, you know, then they trade the higher time frames. So a lot of different ways to do it. This is just one of them. Something that, you know, I connected with and maybe it will help you. If not, that's fine. I did see Fizzy Elf here won. So I will, because I know you in our Discord, I will reach out to you and we'll get that coordinated. And then Brian here had a question about prop. He said, am I using the 15-minute candles for what looked like the algo bot? And was I just taking all ones? No, I'm using multiple time frames, nothing under the 15-minute, but the 15-minute through the day. So the 15, 30, 64-hour, 12-hour day. Those are the time frames that I'm trading. I'm trading simultaneous breaks and a couple of setups that I'm experimenting with. So anybody looking to build a bot, we've got a bot channel in the Discord as well. That's pretty active. I'm surprised it's as busy as it is in there, but a lot of people interested in doing the algo trading thing. So something I've been working on and happy to try and point you guys in the right direction. You know, I get DMs and they're like, can you send me the code? And I'm like, no, dude, you know, first of all, it's like over 100,000 lines, very complicated. Nobody's just going to be able to, you know, click some buttons. But using some of these AI tools today, you can get pretty far building yourself a bot and a dashboard and a whole, you know, you don't have to be super knowledgeable. You can literally just ask AI how to do certain things and get pretty far. So, yeah, options DJ got rugged by an elf, and your longs are winning. Congrats. Let's see what else. Let's give away another here. Let's do another giveaway here. How do I reset this? Let's go reset entries. Boop. We don't want to like. I want to change the, oh, here we go, giveaway options. So this is going to be, remove spammers. Let's see, advanced settings. Boom, boom, boom. All right, you're going to type just strat alerts, all one word. Strat alerts, just like I typed it there. Go ahead, I'll give you guys, I'm going to set a timer, 60 seconds, 60 seconds. And we'll keep, find some other things to talk about.
One of the things that
ahead.
I want to mention too as well, I'm also very much a gappers trader off of earnings. And so Tom's included an earnings calendar. No offense, Tom, I don't use the earnings calendar as much here. I usually just I map it out ahead of time and I just say, okay, well, I put it in my day planner and I know which earnings are coming up. But yeah, I like the fact that you have a digital version of it. But what I really love is he automatically scans for the top gappers, gap up, gap. You don't have any here, obviously, because the market's closed. But every morning, I will look at my gappers and say, okay, these are and if a gapper is also associated with earnings, then, I wait 10 minutes for the IV crush to happen and pick up wicked, wicked trades off of that post earnings. Those are always good.
Liam C _007, type something in chat. LEAMSI _007. You want $100. Follow me on X. Send me a DM, please. I'll give you a minute. You got to type something so I know you're still here. There you go. Okay. Do you have an X account? Let me know if you do or don't. Figure out. I hope you do. You can just send me a message there, or hop in our Discord, or if you're in Discord, just send me a message. Will do. Okay. I'm gonna jot your name down so I don't forget. Oh, I gotta. Who else won the Here, sorry guys. To LIALEAM. I gotta be careful. I almost sent money to a scammer. These scammers are crafty, boy. So
Liamsy's good.
let's try and get you quick. Okay. Let's do here. We'll re-roll another winner. And Vic GHOTRA. You want a T-shirt? VIC. Do the same thing. Either DM me on Discord, join our Discord, and send me a message, or on X.
So Tom, are you up to doing another sort of jam session, screen share, live stream, something like that? We can during the week, right? Like
Yeah,
when
let's
the actual market kind of, because I'm just looking at the time here. We've been running for about
yeah.
an
We're about an
hour
hour,
and
20
20.
minutes. Yeah. Yeah, now would be a good time to kind of like we'll wrap some stuff up. Yeah, I think what we'll do, guys, is probably I think what did we discuss, Solanke? Maybe like on Tuesday or Wednesday. What do you think? Tuesday? Maybe do it turnaround Tuesday
Yeah,
or
I'm good. I'm good with a turnaround Tuesday strat attack, like Rob used to do. Right? What's happening Monday? Let's see what happened on Tuesday, and we can figure out, what direction the market's going, or what's trading hot, and then you've got the rest of the week to go attack those guys, right? So
yeah, it'll
I'm
give
I'm, I'm good for a Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday we'll do this again. So give you guys a chance to like play around with the scanner, ask any questions. When we do this, if you want to join again, I'll probably do some more, give away some free stuff, and just hang out, try and have some fun, talk trading, and go from there. So I want to thank everybody for participating, joining, hanging out with us. Hopefully, you learned something or got some information about what we're up to over here. And I want to thank Solanke for being very patient with me and helping me test things out and just being so willing to participate in this. He's
Happy
a
to
great
do it.
guy. So thank you. Thank you.
Give us
All right,
feedback
guys.
on the presentation as well. What you guys want to see more of, what you didn't like. We can, I want to make sure. I'm at the point in life where I really enjoy teaching. I am really trying to teach my boys and hone that mindset in them as well. They're 20 and 22 years old, and I'm figuring the way the world is going, guys, you need to learn how to trade because it's probably one of the few gigs I can think of that's AI proof. Like you can't, unless the market goes flat and sideways forever, the market is just a representation of human emotions, right? And so mastering your own emotions, and that's where I spend most of my time on is psychology. So mindset Mondays or strat attack Tuesdays, whatever you guys want to do. I'm happy to talk all things trading. Like I said, this is all I do.
Awesome. I appreciate it. And again, thank you guys. I'll just leave you with this. If you are new or you've been, kind of uh, struggling for a bit or basically break even after a year or two, you're not alone. Everyone has been there. It takes a while. You don't, become a surgeon overnight or in a few months or reading some books. It's a process. Be patient with yourself. Most important thing is you just don't blow all your money. If you blow all your money, you're out of the game. So, while you're learning, keep risk manageable. Trade one share, one small options contract. Don't get cute. Don't try and chase every setup. And, you put in the work and you'll find some success. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. And we will see you again on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
everyone.
Thanks, Solanke.
Take care, bud.
All right. See ya.